suffer. The longer we wait for them to deploy resources to fight to protect our coast. We need our Coast Guard, we need our federal government to force BP to either move or get us the funds needed to work on this first segment today before midnight. I want to see them mobilizing a dredge today, and if BP won't do it, force them to give us money and we'll do it. Last Thursday, the Coast Guard said that they wanted to review the effectiveness of sand booms before they force BP to pay for the other 5 segments. Now let me tell you, let me quote for you from their own contingency plans. They said these sand booms serve as effective barriers against oil contamination, end quote. That these sand booms are effective in response to an oil spill. We agree with what the Coast Guard said in the ACB. We agree with the effectiveness of these sand booms. That's why we proposed 24 segments of over 100 miles. We know they work. We've seen them work time after time again. We've shown you pictures. We've flown you over this land bridges the National Guard has built over Elmer's Island and Thunder Bayou. We've shown where the oil got past the Hardy Group. We've shown you where there was a land bridge where it used to be open water, and then behind that there was more hard boom. We've shown you the oil will get trapped by that land bridge. We can come and then clean it up. I don't want to drop oil on an inch of my coast. I'd much rather fight this oil on hard land than inside my wetlands. Our CPRA experts estimate this 100 miles of barrier islands. We had that 100 miles of boom, that sand boom, that would protect over 4,000 miles of our shoreline. We could have already built 10 miles of our plan had been approved 22 days ago on May 11th. 140 miles, according to NOAA, of our coastline has now been impacted by oil. That is why we need to be fighting this oil 15 to 20 miles off of our coast, not in our fragile marshland. And again, we discussed this with the President, with the White House, with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, with the Coast Guard. Certainly, again, we're frustrated. It took 2 weeks to get any response. Frustrated, they only agreed to make BP pay for 1 segment while they approved 6. Frustrated, they said the other 5 wouldn't be approved because they needed to measure the effectiveness of sand boom, even though their own plan already calls for sand booming as an effective measure. Bottom line, we want them, we're calling on again the Coast Guard and the federal government to force BP to start the first project, pay for the remaining 5 projects that the Corps has already approved, and then we ultimately want them to approve our entire 24-segment sand boom plan. Our entire coast is important. We know this can be a marathon for our state. We know this threatens our way of life. We cannot allow the federal government to make excuses for BP. BP is a responsible party, but we need the federal government to ensure that they are indeed acting responsibly. A quick update on 6 activities where we're moving ahead on our own to protect our coast. First, protecting our marshes. In Plaquemines, Jefferson, Orleans, and St. Bernard, the state's worked with the parishes to establish a marsh bridge barrier. That's a combination of plugs and berms to keep oil from penetrating our marshes. In Lafourche and Terrebonne, they're identifying east-west canals. They can be fortified to serve as a seal to prevent surface oil from getting into the marshes there. CPRA is also working with the National Guard on key points to fill in the sand in St. Tammany and Jefferson